Good morning. Nice to have your company this Saturday. Let's start with our top story. The New South Wales government is expected to tighten stay-at-home orders in southwestern Sydney as early as today, as the state prepares for another large spike in COVID cases. The Premier held a crisis cabinet meeting late last night over concerns infectious cases are moving through the community. After 3 weeks of lockdown, Gladys Berejiklian conceded the numbers are not where she'd like them to be. Options under consideration include restrictions on exercise, forbidding certain types of work, and stricter rules around some high-risk workplaces. Changes for retail shops are also on the table after ongoing calls for increased measures on non-essential outlets, including clothing stores and florists. Limits could also be put in place on how far Fairfield residents can travel, along with imposing police checkpoints and using cameras to identify number plates to find people if they leave the area. Police will be out in force this weekend, making sure people don't head into the regions.
1 month on since the Bondi outbreak began, there is more than 1,000 cases. That's after another 97 cases, 29 of those out in the community, unaware they may be spreading it to others, sometimes across multiple days.
Look, there's no doubt that the numbers aren't where we'd like them.
A concerning backlog of unlinked cases is building.
You know, you've got to be honest about it. We've lost control. We've lost control of it. But you know what? We've been in lockdown. We're not getting an escalation, but they're stubborn. We need it actually to go into reverse.
The Premier says she won't hesitate to act within hours of receiving advice from Dr Kerry Chant if tougher restrictions are needed, but they would have to be targeted and based on the latest data.
If we have any concrete proposals which Dr Chant and her team will present to us, we will take action in relation to that.
Police issued 164 infringement notices and more than 200 warnings to people breaching public health orders, including this pop-up dance party in Manly on the northern beaches.
When spoken to, that young man tried to convince police that it was some sort of marketing strategy or exercise strategy, when clearly it wasn't. The people who contacted police described it as a party in the street.
Police will be out in force this weekend, monitoring major roads at the airport and conducting checks of bus services out of Sydney to try to catch those heading into the regions without a valid excuse. Kenny Heatley, Sky News, Sydney.